Welcome to the show. I'm Hemant Goswami. Today we have National General Secretary for the BJP, Mr. Muralidhar Rao, with us, and we are going to talk about demonetization, which the Modi government has just introduced. Welcome, Mr. Rao, on the show. Mr. Rao, on 8th of November, the Modi government, the BJP government, introduced demonetization of 501,000 notes. How do you see the move by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
This will be remain as a watershed in the post-independence India. No other government had done this kind of decision, and definitely we have to see in this light that this government, and particularly Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, he has got the mandate from the people in which the war on black money was always important. When we talk about black money has got the external side, and also black money has got the internal. We may say external and internal both are different, but both are integrated. The forces, the networks, and the persons involved in the generating of the black money, ultimately they are linked to such people who are also involved in siphoning of that money and keeping that money in the offshore accounts.
You mean to say the sources are the same, the way it is generated is the same?
So, unless we demolish this structure, unless we completely root out this kind of network, it is always impossible to permanently keep black money under check or black money removed. So, this kind of decision, without the mandate from the people of this country, and without the continuous trust of the people in the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji, and their readiness to take any kind of repercussions or any kind of consequences, no Prime Minister could have taken this kind of decision. So now this is a touching decision, is an affecting decision. 125 crore people are getting affected, and so everywhere in villages, in the towns, and everywhere there is a discussion about this issue.
Absolutely, that's right.
So, in my view, in the democratic history and the post-independence India, if you single out one decision which has affected so many people, I feel this is the decision which has affected so many. 5 protests or 10 protests could have triggered the anti-movement. So we should understand the politicians and the opposition party leaders, they may be opposing and they may be issuing statements and this and that. But the common people, despite the hardships and the kind of problems they are facing, but their trust in Narendra Modi ji's leadership is not diminishing, and they are ready to face. So I feel this war on black money and the form of demonetization, I feel this is a very important decisive policy decision, and for the government and for the leadership there will be no looking back afterwards. And after December 30th, I feel the impact and the consequences in the areas of economy, in the areas of politics, and the parties functioning, all these people and parties and organizations, they will have to sit and take note of the development. So this will have a far-reaching consequences, and in shaping the future, this will have a lot of impact.
The opposition is claiming that this is going to actually impact the GDP. The poor would be affected. Beside the black economy, or what we call black generation of black money, there is also an informal economy which runs in the country, which need not be an illegal kind of economy, but it is an informal economy which run in our villages and small places and rural areas. So won't it impact the rural economy and the informal economy and things like that?
The presence of informal economy in this country is the central factor of the complexity of the Indian economy. That is the reason the four economists or the external agencies and organizations, they have not been able to understand and analyze the situation about Indian economy in the past so many years. But in my view, this challenge is there and it will be there. And in coming days, governments, state governments and central government, they have to work out indigenous solutions, and the way-outs also have to be indigenous. Definitely, presence of informal economy may be providing a kind of complexity for this, but we should never think it as a black economy. Informal economy and black economy are completely different. Informal economy is a genuine economy.
That's good.
And the source of strength of the Indian economy. It is the source of the Indian employment. Now, if you take 92% of the Indian employment is coming from the informal economy. Agriculture sector you have, small scale sector and the service sector and tiny enterprises. If you take all these things, without this, imagining about Indian economy is impossible. So, government, when we talk about black economy, it is unaccounted economy, means the people and the organizations and the persons who are interested in evading the tax. That is the target for the government. But when we targeting such transactions, it does not mean, and it should not be taken that it should, a kind of harassment for these people or their transactions.
You mean to say they would not be troubled or
Definitely they should not be and they will not be. And they represent Indian economy. So government will never think of doing any such kind of thing. When the government has come out with the Mudra scheme, means it is in fact is interested in creating a kind of reorientation for the banking structure in India. And it wants to revolutionize the credit infrastructure to facilitate these people. So definitely in coming days, when Indian government becomes capable and when its revenues go up, then automatically their capacity to support the informal sector will also go up. So in my view, war on black economy will enable the Indian government to take care of the informal sector more.
By this, the rate of interest will also come down, for the lending will increase, and more money would be infused into the rural economy.
So now where revenues go up, municipal administration or state government and central government, when the revenues when they go up, automatically it is a kind of enabling situation. Indian government's capacity to finance and to create a credit infrastructure, it will also become more efficient and more spread out. And another factor in this is definitely the black money. I call it as it's a curse for the poor people. It is a kind of enemy of the poor people. It increases the inflation. It increases the bubble economy. It increases the artificial growth. So when you have this artificial and inflated situation, prices of all important commodities and other things, it goes up.
Yes.
So whether it is land price or the houses or even other such things, even for essential commodities. So these things definitely, prices of these things will come down in future. And the continuous war on black economy is boon for poor.
One of the sources of black economy is the sale and purchase of lands and houses and all that. So because the registration charges are high, the government fee is high, so a lot of people, they under invoice or they sell it at a lower rate. They register it at a lower rate, whereas they sell it the normal rate, and some of the money is transferred in cash. Now that also constitutes a large chunk of black economy. If we just do it like this and we just crack it one time, wouldn't that again reoccur, and wouldn't that again resurface? Wouldn't that black money again come into the main economic activities?
No, I have a different view on this. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he started this war, he has declared and afterwards also he has told that this is not the last step. And the war on black economy is a continuous thing and it will be uninterrupted. And he will come with other initiatives also. So in the future, definitely government, with the support of the state governments, it has to create some reform structure when it comes to the land registration and all other things. In this electronic registration and electronic infrastructure, utilizing such tools is going to help.
Like linking with digital.
Linking with the digital
India.
And with the kind of amounts which are involved in land sales and purchases, why it should be treated as a commodity transaction related to uneducated people or the small people, where hundreds of rupees or thousands of rupees involved. It's not that. It is in lakhs and it is in crores. So definitely government can come up with the revolutionary idea of depending on the infrastructure, electronic infrastructure. So there will be pressure on the central government and there will be continuous pressure on the different state governments, though they may be governed by different parties. But this anti-corruption movement and this anti-black money movement, now it will be triggering. And the people's participation in this movement is now complete. It is not Modi ji's led movement. Now people have taken it. And the people are in queues means they want an alternative system. When a person is standing and accepting that this black money demonetization issue and he is taking pains, why he is taking pains? So we have to understand the citizens' commitment and the citizens' readiness to take or to sacrifice the things. So in coming days, he is not going to pardon any kind of callousness and any kind of insensitivity towards such issues which are affecting so far the poor people.
You mean to say this is not one-off, and this is a series of reforms which are going to come. Correct. So this is the first part of it. So this is what I understand of it. Okay. Now, recently, a few days back, again another voluntary disclosure scheme was launched, and that scheme again provides for 50% tax plus 25% being locked for 4 years without back interest, and 25% that person gets back. Now, where was the need to introduce such a scheme when actually if the person does not declare any amount, all his money goes waste? In this case, he will get back some, at least he will get 50% of his money back. That is one of the main objection of a large section of opposition, and some people of the public are also questioning this move by the government. What do you have to say about that?
The people who have earned their incomes ethically, and if they are questioning this move, I don't disagree with them. Their question is genuine and it is correct. But we have to understand, in a society where democracy is there and democratic functioning is there, this kind of malpractice or this kind of illegal activity is not done by very few. It is not, a microscopic minority.
I mean to say it's in the culture now.
It has become part of the culture because of the continuous policies and the administrative functioning of the previous governments. So keeping that in view, ultimately we have to deal with the people. And it is not small number. So now again the government is not going backward. So it is making a forward movement. Progressively the penalties are increased and people are made to give more. But again giving an opportunity to come into the mainstream. So this is yet another opportunity and an offer by the government to such people who want to lead a sincere and genuine life and a law-abiding life. So in that also, now maximum penalties are created. So 50% is the tax, and then the lock-in period, directly linking it to the poor people's development, and so it is making a kind of an appealing thing, an attractive thing. They can also feel that their money is going for the development of their own fellow citizens. So in a way, incentivizing the society and incentivizing everybody, ultimately reconciling. You know, the society has to be reconciled and integrated. So, in the larger interest of the society and the future order and harmony, these things are given and is a progressive thinking in a way.
What about the foreign black money? Because there's a big question by the opposition. They're asking about what about the money which has been stacked overseas? How is it going to come? Because that money is laundered back through the FDI route. It comes to India in the form of FDI.
In this, there are different estimates, I agree. India has become a country in the table of black money. It's occupying the number one position or number two position. So it is an unfortunate situation, and it's bringing us a kind of bad image and negative image for the country. And the money is not small. And even the global finance integrity, the NGO which has studied all these things, it has also now estimated that even after 2012, the money which has gone out is to the tune of $92 billion. And many people say in the parallel form of economy, it is more than 20% of GDP of this country. This kind of talks are there. But we have to understand the complexities involved in that. The government's commitment is complete. Honorable Prime Minister has taken from the beginning initiative constituting the SIT, and now SIT is continuously functioning, and it is taking all accountability, and now various steps are also they are taking, and now participatory notes issue also is addressed to a large extent, and the routing of the money through Mauritius and other countries, it is stopped, and so government is taking step by step, initiatives to stop all those creeping holes which we have previous governments developed. So, and another important initiative, it has got a linkages that whenever our leader Modi ji is going outside and participating in the global discussions, he is making a point: terrorism inalienably linked to the black money. Unless you target black money and unless you make this banking laws accountable for these things, it is impossible for the national governments to control the terrorism. So governments are also now started listening. So progressively things will become more transparent. And in coming days, it is a global administrative infrastructure which has to be created. And another point with respect to governments also, Indian government is negotiating. So before 2019, we understand, BJP also as a party is aware of that on the black money, both on the foreign front and the external black money, which is stashed so far, and the internal this creation of black money. Both these things must have to be addressed in a significant way. Now the people's participation in this has become more visible, and so in that case the responsibility of the government increases more. So in future, on that front also, definitely there will be effective initiatives from the central leadership.
See, the less cash economy which we are talking about, and which the government of India is talking about, do you think that is possible in the near future? Maybe can we turn around and say, let's say 6 months or 1 year time, can we make India less cash economy? This is what the government is promoting. So how can that be done? Because the question is about resources, the question is about banking structure, the question is about the overall mindset of the people. So what is the government's plan on that?
First we have to understand this is a very serious challenge. Now, dependence on cash is very high compared to any other country. And the kind of population and the kind of diversity of economy, and the diversity in the industrial sector. Keeping all these things, it becomes more and more difficult. But keeping the technological development and advancement in view, this is a worthy ideal a nation should to pursue. So government taking this as objective is is a welcoming thing. We have to travel in that direction. Ultimately we also had taken currency as the mode of transaction based on the technological development at some point of time. So now the dependency on currency is not needed in order to transact the business or participate in the trade in exchange of goods and services. So progressively society has to move forward in that direction. And in that case, when we keep as a target, this is a target for each department, government department and private department, and when the government embarks on these kind of lines to incentivize various persons and agencies to undertake these transactions, ultimately it is productive one, and it is going to help the economy, it is going to be useful, beneficial. Now, you cannot make it into a imposing thing, and you cannot make the people to penalizing policy decision. If you do not agree, immediately you have to pay. This kind of situation government has not advocated. It is appealed in the form of nation's development and in the form of the commitment as a patriot one should do. And the reduction of the dependence on the currency is going to help the GDP also. It's a wasteful expenditure.
But the opposition is claiming the GDP will come down.
No. If you stop the alcohol, GDP will come down. If you stop the narcotic drug trade, then directly the GDP may come down. Does it mean that you should encourage such things? So unhealthy things and not profitable things for the society in the long run, we have to discourage those things. So depending on the currency, which is a burden on resources, which is a burden on your green resources, and a burden on all aspects. So reducing the dependence on currency is a progressive step for any government. So if not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you have to take this. So society, now for example, I appeal to all students and I appeal to all the college going youth. If they take up and in their own individual lives, and if they make their own parents to take up, for even if presently they are using 5% the electronic transaction, then if they increase to 10%, 15%, then gradually if they reach 50%.
See, the problem is the young people, they are using e-payments, they are using online payments, but the elderly or people who are past the middle age, they're less comfortable with e-payments and using debit card.
India is a creative country. India is a creative country. Technology is only for educated, who said?
No, I agree on that.
So, in coming days, when we have a challenge, when we have a problem, then there will be a technology solution. So the people who create technologies, they understand the challenges and they come out with the solutions. That is the beauty of the technology. So in coming days, uneducated people's capacity to handle e-transaction is going to be the litmus test for both the government and the creative faculty of the society. So definitely India is not a poor society in intellectual orbit. So definitely these problems also we will handle, and this is a challenge and society is going to take up.
But during the transition period, people are still standing in the queues and they are complaining about they are not having cash, the ATMs are empty and banks are not giving them enough money. So how do we handle this during the transition period, or how long it's going to last?
Ultimately the peak problem is over. The peak problem is over. Initial 15 days problem, and now the 4th or 5th, the December 4th or 5th. With this problem for the society about the cash availability is over. We have to understand when 86% money currency is sucked out and the country is made to depend on only the 15% of the currency, the least denomination notes, then that was the troublesome period. And we have passed through already. And we could do we could pass through all these things only because of the commitment of the common people. They have taken the difficulties, they have faced the hardships, and whatever they have complained is correct. And whatever, that is the reason, whatever suggestions they have given, sometimes government also flexibly responded. So we have to understand there is a kind of continuous dialogue between Prime Minister of this country and the people of this country. So that helped in facing this kind of difficult situation.
Over a period of time, this is going to improve, and maybe in a few days.
In a few days, in few weeks, things will become normal.
Okay.
And it will be a great experience also. The entire nation has participated in this changeover.
Murliji, one last question. What do you mean? We have done a great thing, and this government has certainly shown to the world that they are serious about handling black money menace. How do we prevent black money from again stacking and getting into our economy? And how do we prevent it in future also? I mean, otherwise the whole cycle can again start.
The point is how much we will be able to prevent and what will be the percentage of improvement. These are the things which we all can debate. But now the politics and the governance has become the zero tolerant government. So that is going to be the important thing. And when that is there, all these things will definitely change and will flow, and we will have good days. And the reputation of this country at the global level, that the country has become synonymous with the black money, that days now are come to end. So there will be a progressive journey towards achieving 100% results. Commitment of the leadership and commitment of the country is important, and in this direction, in my view, politics also, and the governance of the political parties and the governance of the conducting of the elections, all these things have got great linkage with this kind of system. So these things also will have to change in future, and people will be demanding that.
Thank you very much, Mudharji.